Sometimes a coincidence is just a coincidence, but sometimes it's worth slowing down and asking questions. Today we're talking about a recent stock trade that, at the very least, has immaculate timing. A six-figure private investment made by the husband of a powerful Michigan lawmaker, followed just days later by major federal action connected to that same company. There's no public evidence of insider trading here. That matters, but so does the context. This is about access to top officials, regular meetings with the Trump administration, and a long, messy history of our lawmakers trading stocks while writing rules that shape entire industries. This is So What Michigan, where we slow this stuff down and talk about why legal and acceptable aren't always the same thing in politics, and what can be done to fix it. Here's the deal. Michigan Congresswoman Lisa McClain, the chair of the House Republican Conference and one of the most powerful Republicans in Congress, disclosed that her husband bought up to $250,000 in private stock of xAI, Elon Musk's artificial intelligence company, on December 15th. Just 1 week later, the Pentagon announced it would begin integrating xAI's Grok models into its military platform. Then, a few weeks after that, the Defense Department announced an even bigger collaboration with the same company, granting Grok access to classified Pentagon networks as part of a broader push to accelerate the military's use of generative AI. McClain meets regularly with Trump and other senior government officials, and she serves in several caucuses that at least you'd think would have known that this type of deal was coming. Still, she said she had zero inside knowledge of the Pentagon's plans, and there's no public evidence proving otherwise. But again, this perfectly timed stock trade sort of speaks for itself. And this isn't just about one trade, it's about a pattern. Because this isn't the first time that McClain's run into trouble with stock disclosures. She's been late reporting stock trades multiple times in recent years, including hundreds of transactions tied to her husband's investment accounts, some of them involving major government contractors. Under federal law, those late disclosures can result in fines starting at $200. That's it. And that helps explain why dozens of lawmakers from both parties have violated those federal rules in recent years. Why public trust with our elected leaders keeps on slipping. Now let's zoom out even further. This trade happened while Congress is actively debating whether lawmakers should be allowed to trade stocks in the first place. House Republicans are pushing a so-called reform bill. But here's the catch. It wouldn't even apply to private stock purchases like this one. So even if it passes, deals like McClain's XI investment would still be perfectly fine. Democrats and watchdog groups say that's not real reform. It's just a performative maneuver that's meant to cool public outrage over the issue, without actually fixing the problem. So what? Well, even if this trade was 100% legal, and even if McClain truly had no inside information, this is exactly the kind of thing that makes people feel like the folks in Washington are playing by a different set of rules. Because regular Michiganders don't get invited to private investment rounds from Elon Musk. They don't have access to closed-door briefings with the president. And when big military decisions are getting made, they're not standing anywhere near the room. If Congress wants to rebuild trust, disclosure after the fact isn't enough. And $200 fines aren't real accountability. Hit follow. We'll keep breaking down who's making money, who's making decisions, and why those two things keep colliding, especially when Michigan lawmakers are involved.